Hey guys, it's Mackenzie, your mommy's medium, coming back at ya. I'm yelling again. I don't know if you noticed, but I am toast yelling because last podcast I was doing my thing where I'm trying to be really low key and not yell. At one point I even took my headphones off so I would stop yelling, and I realized I sounded ultra sad. I sounded sad throughout the whole thing, and that's because I wasn't yelling. When I'm yelling, or if I'm talking the way I'm talking right now, which I don't think is yelling, but it may sound like yelling. It sounds like yelling to me because I have these headphones on, but it may be yelling, it may not be yelling, but it does sound like I'm happier than what I was before. Now, I was in a little bit of a weird, feel last time because I was still having audio issues. This time, I think I got it conquered. I'm not sure. It doesn't sound as bad as it did last week. Last week there was some weird sound pickup and I was messing with it again for like an hour or whatever. But this time I've spent a few minutes on it and it seems like it's working, so I'm just gonna do a leap of faith and hope that everything is going the way that it should. But anyway, yeah, I was playing the podcast back to myself and I was like, dang girl, you sound so miserable. And I really wasn't that miserable. I wasn't as miserable as I was the week before that when I was really having bad audio issues. I was just kind of trying to not yell and not sound so in your ear. But I'm just going to have you turn the volume down, because if I don't talk like this, then I sound like I'm really pathetic. I come from loud people. Everybody on my mom's side is hella loud, hella just like in your face all the time. And I guess I have to come to terms with that's how I am as a person. I'm a in your face kind of person as well. So deal with it, I guess. I don't want to say deal with it, but at the same time, it's like I have to yell for me not to sound so sad. So for the time being, I'm going to be yelling. I try to put the microphone as far back from myself as I could without it falling off the table. And that's just how it's going to be from now on. Other than that, yeah, I am 36. I'm officially 36, guys. My birthday was this weekend. It was on Sunday. Daylight savings time for the second freaking year in a row, and it sucks. It sucks major balls, okay? Is anybody else feeling like they're being victimized by the whole daylight savings time? Because I am. It's been, 2 days? And I'm still not on track. It's only an hour, people. I should be able to, adjust it for a day or whatever, and then I should be fine. No, I'm still like all kinds of wonky. I didn't get any sleep last night. I had a triple venti Starbucks today because I just didn't get enough sleep, besides my son invading my space in my bed. He's made it a point to be in my bed and I don't like it. But anyway, 36 turned out to be pretty jam, I guess. I didn't do anything exciting other than hang out with my friend Joanna like I always do. It was no different than most of the time that we hang out, other than the fact that she offered to pay and I told her not to, and that was it. We did not only brunch with my husband and my son, but we also did dinner, which again, daylight savings messed all that up. We didn't even get out the house to go to brunch until 12 o'clock, which is 11 o'clock, which is not bad in and of itself, but at the same time, 12 o'clock, we didn't eat brunch until 1 o'clock. That was pretty late. And then we tried to eat dinner at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I don't even know. I'm still kind of wonky from this whole time change, because technically, what is it, noon? Right now, it's noon. I should be feeling good about getting started on my podcast before 1 o'clock, but nope, it's 1 o'clock. I dilly-dallied this morning. My son and I woke up late. It's that daylight savings effect. So we got up late, and then I went to go get a coffee, and then I went to drop something off at my husband's job, and then ended up talking to Joanna, which was supposed to be for 15 minutes, and I ended up being there for an hour and a half. That's the Joanna effect, I guess. But yeah, other than that, I didn't prep for today. I kept saying I'm going to do it, and I never got to it because of my birthday. I was go all weekend. We did a spin class again. I did it twice in a week, and I just felt like $1,000,000. I felt like crap right afterwards. But doing the spin class, if you are in the DC area, you got to get on a mean spin. You got to. It's amazing, and the transformation that I've seen in my body in general is just amazing, especially my ab muscles, because you're doing a lot more than just cycling with your legs. She has you doing a lot of motions with your upper body as well. You do have to have that core muscle to be able to do a lot of the upper body movements. So because of that, my core is getting strengthened, and I love it. But yeah, I've been running around all weekend between spin class, and then Joanna wanted to go out and do an early dinner. We got our nails done at the mall. We got some Haagen-Dazs at the mall. all. And then the next day, like I said, it was my birthday and we did brunch and dinner, but I still had my normal everyday mom stuff to do, like laundry and stuff like that. So I'm just feeling all kinds of out of whack, but I'm here. We're doing the episode. I did all the show prep literally just before I started doing this. So let's get to it. Let's get to today's show. And we're going to start it off with a little bit of Today I Learned, which actually I didn't learn it today. I learned it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to share a couple of podcasts ago, but I kept forgetting to write it down. And all those podcasts, which I said were only supposed to be 30 to 45 minutes, are gone almost to that hour mark. So again, Mackenzie and her big mouth like to yap. I don't know how that happened. But today I learned, last week I learned, that Dua Lipa is only 22. 22 people. Now, if you don't know who Dua Lipa is, you've heard her if you listen to the radio. You've heard one, don't pick up the phone. I'm not going to sing it to you. Oh my God. I don't even know why I started singing for you. I should not sing in public. So I'll keep it to myself. But if you heard anything about one, don't pick up no phones, two, he's only calling because he's drunk and alone, you've heard of Dua Lipa. You probably never heard of her name, but you've at least heard her song. This song was released in July of 2017. It is just now picking up momentum on the radio as of the last maybe 2 months or so. As a matter of fact, our spin instructor has it on her playlist, and now I can't not listen to the song without doing the spin movements that she has us doing, which is moving our hands on different placements of the bar. It's really cool. But anyway, this song was released in July. That was when I first heard it. I heard it through Spotify. Like I said, Spotify is always kind of keeping me up on new music, even the stuff that's not on the radio. Most times, the only time I really know that there's a new song out is because of the radio, because I use it for background noise, not because I particularly care for radio station music. I don't. But it's easier than trying to shift through Spotify, figure out what album I want to listen to. Most times I'll try to put Spotify on random so I can pick up new songs like Dua Lipa. But at the same time, it's a lot easier just to have the radio on and not really fuss with it. So I heard this song during the summer and I was like, man, this girl is spitting some knowledge. Her voice, if you've heard the song, and I know you have heard the song, her voice is very, very mature in the song. And for the most part, in all of her music, her voice is very mature. Not the voice of what I would think a 22-year-old sounds like, but maybe someone who's in their late 20s. I won't even say like in their 30s, but maybe 28, 29. But no, she was only 22, which means that when she recorded the song, she was more than likely around 20. When the song was released, she was 21. Now, of course, she didn't write the song. The song was written by somebody else and she came in to sing the song. But still, it feels like if a 22-year-old is spitting knowledge about dating, you need to take attention. Like, what? She's giving dating advice that most 30-year-olds don't even understand. Like, okay, great. I should not be letting this guy lead my life, but I'm letting him. But now that I've listened to your rules, I know that I need to back off and really love myself, because she says it. He doesn't say I love you, so I say it to myself. Great words. True words in the world have never been spoken, as in you saying that you love yourself, because he won't say it. But yeah, Dua Lipa, she's really cool. I really kind of dig her voice. I've listened to the album Dua Lipa by Dua Lipa. I love that. It sounds like it's a stage name, but it is not, in fact, a stage name. That is her name. She is of Middle Eastern descent and hails from Great Britain. So again, one of those Brits that can sing a song and you don't notice that they have an accent, but they totally have an accent when they talk, which has always plagued me when I was a kid. I remember listening to music and it's like, oh my God, they're American. And then you find out they're British and you feel like, oh my God, a piece of me is dying. Like, why are they not from my country? Is that weird? Why is that weird? Like, why do you have to align yourself with a person just because you're from your country? Well, I don't know. That was a weird thing that I used to do as a kid. But it'd be like, so-and-so is British? Phil Collins is British? What? What are you talking about? Now, you can listen to Adele's music and tell, okay, yeah, there's certain songs, no, I wouldn't think that she's British, and there's other songs you're like, oh, she's for real British. But yeah, that just kind of threw me, that Dua Lipa is only 22, and she's giving out dating advice that, like I said, most 30-year-olds don't even know how to follow. So if you haven't heard the song, listen to the song. If you know somebody's going through some man troubles, I won't mention any names, cough, cough. Listen to these lyrics. She's spitting some wise knowledge. And moving on to my next topic, which is a new topic for me that I cleverly named Verses, because it'll be about reviewing music. You see how clever I am? Verses, because there's verses in music. And this week's particular Verses will be putting one album review against another album review. So it's not only verses as in music verses, but verses as in going head to head. Sometimes I'm so freaking clever, I don't know what to do with myself. Legit. Now, for the time being, I don't know if verses will always be about putting one thing against another thing. It just seemed like, oh my God, verses and then verses. Like, whoa, it blew my mind when I came up with this. It really did. Because I was just like, God dog it, Mackenzie. You are just so freaking clever sometimes. You can't remember what you had for lunch, but you can be clever when you really want to. So anyway, this week's Verses is going to put Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods against Maroon 5's Red Pill Blues. Now, the reason why I pitted these two against each other is because I feel like with Justin Timberlake and Adam Levine, which Maroon 5 is a group, but Adam Levine might as well be Maroon 5. I don't know any of the other members of the group. Most of the other members don't make it a point to put themselves in the limelight. For the most part, in all of the music videos, they are only featured for about 2 seconds, if even that. One of the last videos that Maroon 5 just put out, they were not in it at all. So this is indicative of how Maroon 5 is in general. Adam Levine is in the forefront. The other guys are kind of in the background. And I think they kind of dig it that way. I don't think that they mind it, because if they minded it, they wouldn't be the group anymore. Now, of course, a lot of the original members are not still in the group. And that's only because there was like rifts as far as like drug habits and stuff like that. But other than that, they've had the same members for a good amount of time. But anyway, I pitted these two against each other because Justin and Adam are around the same age. Adam will be 39 at the end of this week. Justin just turned 37 2 months ago. They both have similar family dynamics, with Justin and Jessica Biel getting married back in 2012 and having one child, 3-year-old Silas, and Adam being married to Bahati, which she is a hottie, Bahati Prinsloo. They got married back in 2014. They have 2 children, Dusty Rose, who is just over 1 year old, and they just had a new baby about 2 weeks ago named Geo Grace, 2 girls. So they both have similar family dynamics. They're both similar age-wise. They both kind of started to make it big back around the same time. Now, of course, Justin had his big career being featured with NSYNC, but he went solo in 2002. That was around the same time that Maroon 5's first album got released and they started gaining notoriety. When I was listening to Justin Timberlake's album and then I would listen to Maroon 5's album, I started listening to them within days of each other. And by listening to it, like the things that I was feeling about Justin's and the things that I was feeling about Maroon 5's, it kind of pitted them against each other without me even realizing it. Only because I was like, why does Justin have to say it like that when Adam is around the same age? Adam has a family too, and Adam's saying it, but it doesn't come off as weird. And I'll get into that as I'm doing the actual review. But yeah, that's the reason why I pitted these two against each other, because I feel like right now they're doing the same thing. That background-wise, they are basically the same person, per se, but at the same time, they release completely different albums that come off completely different from each other. And that was something that intrigued me as to why I might be dissing one and falling in love with another one. So let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and get into this review. I'm going to go ahead and start with Justin's Man of the Woods. Now, I don't know how to feel about this because I love Justin Timberlake. I really do. Over the last couple of years, his persona, just kind of the way he's been coming off has kind of been rubbing me the wrong way, but still he puts on a good show. He sings fantastic. You know me and a boy with a falsetto voice. I love them all. So, you know, anything that he puts out, I always want to love. Under his belt, he has 4 albums. You have 2002's Justified. You have 2006's Future Sex Love Sounds. You have 2013's 2020 Experience. And then you have 2018's Man of the Woods. The 2020 Experience was one of those albums that I really couldn't get into. As a matter of fact, I didn't get into it until right before I went to go see his joint tour venture with Jay-Z. At that point, I really hadn't listened to any of it, but we bought tickets like, I don't know, 10 months in advance, Joanna and I. And I was like, crap, I'm going to go to this concert and not know any of these songs. Now, at first, when I heard the album, I was like, I don't know if I really like it or not. But as I started listening to it, it started to rub me the right way. There's still a couple of songs I'm like, I can skip. But for the most part, it was pretty decent. All of the other albums, Justified, I remember when I bought Justified in 2002, I was living in LA and Crimea River had just come out. And I rode all the way home. Now, this is like a 30 to 45 minute drive home. And I rode all the way home listening to Crimea River on repeat. And that album for the rest of the year took off for me. I loved everything about Justified. That was when I started to get into pop music. At that point in my life, I wasn't really into pop music, but living in LA, you kind of have that vibe of everybody's sunny and happy. You can't not be sunny and happy when you're living in LA, and you have to have a soundtrack to it. And pop music is that soundtrack. You move on to 2006's Future Sex Love Sounds, and this particular album blew my mind because it did one of those things where it takes a song and that song melts into another song, which also is kind of annoying because you're like, oh, I just want to hear that one part, but you have to listen to like all of the song before you can get to that one part. That's kind of annoying to me, but I did find that annoying about that album. But it did do that kind of flow from one song into another song, and I really dug that. My husband said that it's the Pink Floyd effect. Pink Floyd is the one that started that whole style with The Wall, and subsequent albums after that. They kind of blended one song to start into another song, which, oh my God, if I hated it with CDs and I can actually skip, can you imagine if you had to do that with a record player? How annoying it is trying to find, okay, is it right here? Nope. Is it right there? Nope. Oh, no, we're just going to have to listen to the whole album. We're just going to have to listen to the whole album. That's just how we're going to do it. But anyway, going into Man of the Woods, I was hopeful. No, I wasn't. No, yes, I was. I was hopeful because I was in Texas in January. As a matter of fact, it was January 5th that Filthy, the first song on the album and the first single to be released off the album, was played on the radio. And my first thought was, this ain't Filthy. This is trash. This song is horrible. It's horrible. I could not get into it. Now, I tried to give it a pass because when I first heard Sexy Back, I hated Sexy Back too. Yeah, I know you probably want to spit on me for saying Sexy Back was a horrible song, but when I first heard Sexy Back on the radio, I was like, what the hell is this? This is his new music. This is what I've been waiting 4 years to hear. Is this trash? But given a couple listens, I was like, all right, I see the genius. I see the genius in the song. Filthy, I still don't see the genius in it. It's been, 2.5 months, and I can listen to it, and I'm still like, I don't like you. I can listen to you, but I don't like you. I want to skip you, but I don't like you. But it's funny, last month when I first started listening to the album on a regular, because I knew I wanted to do a review on it on the podcast, I was listening to the album, and I remember waking up in the middle of the night and singing the chorus. Now, either that's subliminal messaging or that's me actually liking the song. I'm going to lean more towards subliminal messaging because I don't like this song. There are plenty of songs that I hear on the regular basis that I can sing that I don't like. I told you a couple months ago, Camila Cabello's Havana, I hate that song. I hated it back then. I hate it now. I can sing every last lyric to that song. I still hate it. So there's just some songs, no matter what, are ear candy. Even when you don't want them to be ear candy, they get stuck in your head, they get stuck in your mind, and you find yourself singing them even if you don't like them. And that's what Filthy is to me. I also feel like with this song and with the album as a whole, it's all over the place. Musically, theme-wise, and that Justin feels like to me that he's trying way too hard. Way too hard to sound relevant, way too hard to sound hip, way too hard to sound like he still matters. And that's where I started to compare it to Maroon 5 and Adam Levine, because with Adam Levine and Maroon 5's Red Pill Blues, I didn't feel like he was trying too hard, even though he's doing a lot of the same themes and saying a lot of the same things. And I'll expand on that by reading out some lyrics from Filthy. Okay? He says, "Put your filthy hands all over me, and no, this ain't the clean version. And what you gonna do with all that meat? Cooking up a mean serving." Now, I don't... Okay, I don't... Reading the lyrics out loud sound even worse than listening to the lyrics as he's singing them. He's like, "Put your filthy hands all over me." And I want to be like, yeah, I'm going to put my dirty hands on you, boy. But it doesn't come off right. It comes off as, why do my hands got to be filthy? Is it like, did I just eat some fried chicken or something? Like, why are my hands dirty? And then he goes on to say, "No question, I want it. Fire up. Everybody's smoking. Your friends, my friends, and they ain't leaving till 6 in the morning." And then in the hook, he also says, "Baby, don't mind if I do exactly what you want times 2. Like, these are all lyrics that could be taken in a sexy, sensual kind of way if they're done right. But to me, what it comes off as is like some weird 50-year-old guy who's trying to regain his youth, and he's hanging out in the club, and he's trying to use slang, and he's trying to be hip and say all these weird, sexy things that are not coming off sexy, but coming off like weird and like, ew, kind of creep show." And I never used to feel that way about Justin. Never. Now, if you take it all the way back to 2002's Justified, where this boy was only 22 years old, he was saying things like, "Take me now, I'm hungry for your loving, show me how, you got me working honey. Right now, I'm hot just like an oven, so take me now, boy, you make me feel like I gotta dance." That comes off so much better than 2018's, "Damn, put your filthy hands all over me, I'll do what you want times 2. He repeats that theme in the next single, Supplies, which is another song that, again, I don't like it. I can hum the melody to it, I can hum the chorus, but I don't like it. In Supplies, he says, "Now I want to know everything. Don't leave a single detail out. I'll get mine later. Just fell out. It makes me a generous lover." What? What? I know you've been married for a couple of years. 6 years, to be exact. So you're treating me like the common housewife, where it's like, "Oh, okay, honey, you tell me about your day, because listening to you talk about your day makes me a generous lover. Don't worry about me. Don't worry. I'll get mine later. But you get yours right now." Like, ew. Ew. I don't know what else to say other than ew. Like, what? What? Why are you? What? You are not that old. You should know how to say things better. That's going to get me turned on, if that's in fact what you're trying to do. But this is like, oh my God. Now, I will say that one of the verses in Supplies says, "I'll be the light when you can't see. I'll be the wood when you need heat. I will be the generator. Turn me on when you need electricity." Now, that is actually sweet lyrics. But when you hear it in the song, it's like, it doesn't sound good. It just doesn't sound good in general. So those particular lyrics from the get-go of the album just were rubbing me the wrong way. Not the good way. It wasn't rubbing me in a good way, the way Justin Timberlake usually does. It was rubbing me in that way like, ooh, this is an itchy sweater. I don't like this. Now, from what I heard about Justin talking about this album, he was trying to get back to his roots with country. He's from Tennessee. And of course, you know, he started off doing Mickey Mouse Club and then became famous doing pop music with NSYNC. That's as far from his roots as you can get. Then he moved on to his solo career, where he did a lot of R&B and funk, which, you know, fine. If you want to go back to your roots, you want to go back to where you came from and what you grew up listening to, I have no problem with that. It's just, I feel like he was trying to do too much to make it hip. He's doing what my husband's friend who lives in our basement says is hip hop. I think it's a new terminology for hip hop infused with country, and maybe he's trying to do R&B country, which is a thing that they've been doing. Nelly has been trying to do that with damn Florida Georgia Line for years, and it's still aggravating the crap out of me because I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Just keep those genres separated. I want them segregated, damn it. But anyway, it just falls flat. It feels like he's trying maybe too hard to get to his roots. And considering the fact that none of us know that those are his roots, it doesn't feel genuine. Okay, so if Taylor Swift says, you know what, I want to get back to my roots, you're thinking, okay, her first couple albums were very heavily country, and now she's trying to get back to her roots. Never mind the fact that she's not from the South, she's from upstate New York. Her roots are probably adult contemporary radio, so that's what you would think of with Justin Timberlake. You would say, okay, you're getting back to your roots, you're getting back to boy band stuff. No, he wants to get back to his other stuff. So it just comes off, I don't know, like he's trying too hard to mix in something that he wants to say are his roots, which, okay, fine, if those are your roots, but then also what people are used to him doing, and it doesn't mesh well because he's also trying to throw in funk music into it as well. The first part of the album is very heavily funk, R&B, kind of hip-hoppy, and kind of weird southern twangy things going on. It's just, it's a mixed hodgepodge that just doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't at all. And it's not because I don't like country music. I don't like country music for the most part. There are a couple of country songs that I can listen to, but for the most part, I don't like country. But it still just doesn't sound right to me. The first time I listened to this album was the weekend before he performed at the Super Bowl. That's the weekend that the album was released. I couldn't get through one song without wanting to skip it. Like, that is indicative of how good an album is. If I can listen to a song and be like, ooh, I want to listen to this again, even though I want to listen to the rest of the album, but I'm going to listen to this one song again. And then after listening to it 5 times, say, okay, I need to move on to the next song. And oh my God, the next song is just as catchy. If I can't do that, if within the first 30 seconds of listening to the song, I'm already wanting to jump ship to the next song, that's not good business. It's not at all. And that's how it was. I hadn't even finished this album until today. Just before the show, I listened to the rest of the album. There were 4 songs I still hadn't gotten to because it just did not sound good overall. And like I said, with songs like Filthy and Supplies, I had to listen to them multiple times to kind of get a halfway decent feel for them. But all in all, I still don't like them. I listened to the entire album just before the show, like I said a few seconds ago, and wanted to skip through each and every song. I did not like them at all. At the halfway part of the actual album is when it kind of takes a turn and does more R&B and feels more like classic Justin. There's still a lot of country essence to it, but it's not trying as hard. The 8th song on the album features Alicia Keys. It's a song called Morning Light. That was the first song on the album that after I got through that initial hump or trying to listen to the songs all the way through because I wanted to do the review, Morning Light was the first song that I could say, okay, I can listen to this on repeat. It's soft, it's melodic, it's sweet. I didn't know it was Alicia Keys. I had to go in and look to see who the song was featuring because it doesn't sound like Alicia Keys at all, because she's throwing in a little southern twang into it too, which again, I'm not going to hate on because it sounds good. Both of them are doing a little bit of a twang throughout the song, and it's good. It's genuine. It feels airy. It feels light. When listening to it, I could just picture 2 lovers sitting in a room of white with white sheets and white walls, just having the sun rays shine through on them as they're basking in their glow of love. Like, that's what I felt listening to the song. It was the first genuine song off the album that I was like, yes, this is what I wanted off of this album. This is what I needed. Not that other crap that came before it where you're trying to do funk and pop and country and hip hop. It was just too much. This is stripped down and it's beautiful. And then you move on to Say Something as the next song off the album, which features Chris Stapleton, which I am assuming is a country artist. I don't know. Again, I told you I don't listen to country music. But when I was looking on the Wikipedia page, it said that the 2 of them performed at the CMAs together at one point. So, okay, they have a rapport together. And the song is another good song. I won't say that I actually like the song. It is getting a lot of airplay. A lot more airplay than Filthy is, I'll say that for sure. But it's getting a lot of airplay. I was in the car this week and I've heard it on at least 5 different occasions. It, to me, has that a theme of the times type of feel when it comes to music. You know, back in the day when we used to listen to music, and I say we, anybody who's in their upper 30s knows what I'm talking about, where artists used to get together to talk about conflict or whatever is going on, whatever is a sign of the times. You know, the we are the world type of thing. That's what this song feels like to me. I won't say that it's one of my favorite songs. I can sing it and it's not bad. If it's on the radio, I don't particularly feel like switching it, although it was on the other day and I did switch the song. But it's still a good song. It has a good core, it has a good bass, it has a good theme, and it has a good message to it. So that song, again, is pretty decent. And for the rest of the album, like I said, I just got to it today. I didn't particularly feel connected to any of the other songs. There's a song called Flannel, which is kind of sweet. You can tell it's about Jessica and maybe even his son. There's another song called Montana, which he says is about Jessica. That's where they got engaged. So it's sweet. They have sweet themes to it, but it still doesn't kind of hit me where it's like, oh, I want to listen to this song again. I didn't want to listen to it again. As a matter of fact, I skipped through it. Young Man is a song about his son, where you have at the beginning, which is super duper sweet, him trying to get his son to say dada. That kind of pulled at my little, apron strings as a mom. But again, listened to the song and was like, okay, moving on. So yeah, all in all, this album really, really fell flat to me. I didn't have high expectations going into it, but I had higher expectations than what it actually delivered. Listening to him perform at the Super Bowl, he played one or two songs from the album, and then he went right into his classic songs, and it was just like, yes, this is the Justin Timberlake that I know and I love. Like, where is this guy on this album? He's nowhere to be found to me. He's gone. He's MIA, and it's sad to me because it's like he has the potential to really put out some good hits, but he also takes a lot of hiatuses in between albums. Like I said, Justified was 2002, then Future Sex Love Sounds was 2006, which isn't that big of a deal. Normally artists do take about 3 to 4 years in between albums because they're doing tours and stuff like that. It's gaining momentum. Sometimes you'll release an album that'll be a sleeper hit, like Maroon 5. I'll get onto them, but they had something similar happen to them. But yeah, 4 years is not that big a deal. But the time between Future Sex Love Sounds and the 2020 Experience is 7 years. 7 years. And then another 5 before Man in the Woods comes out. I mean, those are pretty big gaps in between time. And maybe you're trying to find a different sound. Now, like I said, he was doing an acting career. He did Social Network. He did a lot of stuff on SNL with Jimmy Fallon and stuff like that. And that's where I started to see a turn. That's when I started to kind of like, I don't like Justin Timberlake so much, because he became really cocky to a point where it was like, it's not attractive anymore. And he's not attractive anymore. I used to love me some Justin Timberlake, but age is not being good to him. He needs to do some like facial serums and maybe some blood facials. Jessica Biel's kind of looking hard herself, so I don't know what kind of skincare regimen the two of them are on, but they need to switch it up. It's so rude. But he doesn't look as good as he used to. But yeah, it's like, I feel like maybe if he didn't take so much time in between his albums and maybe just really focused on the music, maybe he'd be able to turn out some better music. Maybe he'd be able to turn out some better sounds where you're not forcing yourself to listen to it because it's Justin Timberlake. I like him as an artist, so I'm forcing myself to listen to it. I'm forcing myself to like it. And I don't want to do that. I never thought I'd live in a universe where I would say a Taylor Swift album is better than a Justin Timberlake album. Like, what? What? Never in a million years, but yeah, Taylor got it and Justin fell flat. And then putting Man in the Woods against Red Pill Blues, it's just like, it's like night and day. Like I said, I started to listen to Red Pill Blues in January. It came out in November of 2017, which I didn't even know that it came out at that time. I remember doing one of my early podcasts saying that they didn't have a release date for an album. I didn't even see an album. It came out. I didn't even know, but whatever. I started listening to it in January. And like I said, I started to compare the two because I started to say, like, is Justin trying too hard? Is it because he's 37 and he's married? Maybe he's not able to turn out these hits the way he used to because he's complacent in life, and that he's not getting, I don't want to say complacent as in he doesn't like it, but it's easier to turn out love songs to me if you're just now falling in love. It's easier to turn out songs about going to a club and hanging out with your friends when you're actually single than when you're married. But then I started listening to Red Pill Blues, and while I'm listening to it, it doesn't even dawn on me that Adam is married. Adam has 2 kids. Adam has the exact same background as Justin for the most part, you know, give or take a couple of different instances, but he has the same things going on, yet he can still sing about trying to fall in love. He can still sing about getting drunk and wasted and hanging out with friends, but it comes off more genuine. You don't even question the fact that he has all this stuff going on and like, why is he singing about this? Does this have to do with his life? I didn't even question it. It didn't even dawn on me. It was just like, oh crap. Like, he has the same dynamic as Justin, yet it doesn't come off the same way. Now, of course, Adam Levine and Maroon 5 have perfected a sound. All their albums are basically the same where it comes to being in love, trying to fall in love. Should I love this person? Should I take a chance on this person? Is this person going to break my heart? Those are the themes that Maroon 5 are known for. I'm not going to hate on them because each time, even though it's the same exact theme, they turn out hits. They turn out hits like nobody's business. Like I said, this particular album, he talks a lot about going out and getting drunk, which I feel is a little bit excessive, Adam, you know, given that you're a married man. But at the same time, I only thought about that when comparing it to Justin's album and thinking, okay, Adam is about to be 39 and he's talking about getting drunk and trying to address an issue in a relationship, which I don't even know if he's talking about Bahati. I don't know if he's just taking it from the 3rd person perspective or a 4th person perspective, if he's just writing off the top of his head what he knows and it still comes off genuine. Going into the album, the second song off the album, which was the first single, was What Lovers Do. And you know that was my jam a couple of months ago. I hated the video. Still hate the video. I still think that the director should have had them at the roller rink, but whatever. But yeah, What Lovers Do featuring SZA. It's a solid hit. That song could come on the radio and I still will play it. I will sing every lyric like it was brand new. Still love that song. The next single off the album is Wait, which is a current hit that's playing on the radio. But I didn't even go to What Lovers Do. I went for the first track off the album when I went to listen to it, and immediately the hook got me. The damn falsetto voice on Adam Levine. Oh my God. Does he use it and use it well? Justin, not once did he use his falsetto. And maybe that's the reason why I don't like the album. Come to think of it. That might be the reason why. He never really used it. Normally, he's using his voice, and I felt like there was a lot of talking and not a lot of singing. And then when he was singing, he was trying to sing with a country twang, and maybe that took out the falsetto. So maybe that's the reason why I don't like the album. Whoa. But anyway, getting back to Red Pill Blues, the first song off the album is Best for You, and it just gets me, and he is falsettoing it up, and of course he does that throughout the entire album. Now in Best for You, he's talking about wanting the best for an ex-lover or a soon-to-be ex-lover. He has lyrics like, you tell me I don't care, tell me I never try, I said I'm sorry maybe 1,000,000 times, it's gonna hurt you if I have to say goodbye, you don't believe me, I just want the best for you. Now that comes off as genuine as hell, even though we've all had that guy and in some people's cases that girl who does crap, who does dirt after dirt after dirt, like they're digging a damn grave and they're apologetic about it, and you're like, oh, I have to take you back, because you know in your heart of hearts, at least you hope in your heart of hearts, that they only want the best for you, but they don't know nothing but dirt. You know, some people don't know how to do anything other than dirty. I won't name names, but I know some people right now who know nothing but to do dirty, even though that person does nothing but good to them. But again, it doesn't come off as disingenuine. And that's just on the spectrum of he's a married dad, and I don't know if he's singing this song about Bahati or not. Even if he was, I didn't question it. But in comparison to Justin Timberlake trying to sound sexy, Maroon 5 and Adam Levine have a song that's meant to be sexy, and oh my God, is it not sexy beyond comparison. I played this song for Joanna this weekend, and she was like, I need to start stripping. Like, what in the heck? What is this song? And it totally feels like a 50 Shades of Grey song. Like, if it's not a part of the 50 Shades of Grey album, they should be smacked in the face, because it literally has a very 50 Shades feel. But like I said, he's a 39-year-old man who's married, has 2 kids, but it doesn't come off creepy. It doesn't come off as an old guy trying to sound sexy. It literally sounds like somebody that, like, damn, I want all of the lips all over me, yes. But he has lyrics that say, when I put my lips on you, you feel the shivers go up and down your spine for me, make you cry for me, which I'm like, oh, why am I crying? Is it hurting? Do you have chapped lips? Like, should we put some Blistex on it? That's just me being dumb. But he says, yeah, when I put my lips on you, I hear your voice echoing all through the night for me. Like, girl, what? What? Adam Levine. I've loved him ever since 2002 too. Like I said, with both of these guys, I've loved them for a long time, since I was in my early 20s, literally since I was 20 years old. Both of them, I've always found them attractive, and I love their music. I love how they sound, that falsetto voice. I can't get enough of it. But as we're getting older, it's harder to find musicians that are singing the same stuff that I used to listen to in my 20s, and it comes off good without it sounding kind of creep show. Where Justin feels like he's doing a lot of creep show, trying to sound sexy or trying to be sensual with his, tell me about your day. That's not sensual to me. That just sounds like I'm a sad housewife and I need somebody to pay attention to me, and you just want me to believe that you're paying attention, but you're really not. Where Adam is talking about turning off the lights and you can be my private dancer. Like, what? You're telling me to be your private dancer? And I am all about it. I will be your private dancer. It's like night and day. And I don't know why, other than, like I said, it feels like Justin was trying way too hard to come out with something and be relevant, where Adam Levine and Maroon 5 have been turning out hits for the last couple of years back to back to back. Adam has perfected his genre. He has perfected his sound, so he knows what to do and how to do it. And like I was saying with Justin, I was like, maybe because he's married and he has a family and he's been with Jessica Biel for so long, he doesn't remember how to write that. But in comparison, Adam has the exact same things going on, and he's still able to turn out songs about things that aren't going on in his life. And I don't mean as far as if he's apologizing to Bahati or whatever. A lot of the songs where he's apologizing for being a dickhead, he could be singing for her. I'm not sure. But a good majority of the songs on this album have a very new in the relationship kind of feel. When you're first trying to feel out somebody, when you're first dating somebody, you don't know where it's going to go or how they feel. That's how majority of this album goes. But it comes off very well. It comes off very authentic, where I don't feel like Justin's coming off very authentic with what he's saying. Now, of course, Justin got a little bit more personal with his album. Like I said, he has a song that is about Jessica Biel. He has a song that is about his son. There's no real personalization to the Maroon 5 album. There's no songs where beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's singing for Bahati, because like I said, nothing is about being solid in a relationship. Most of it is trying to figure out where the relationship is going to go. So there is that tone that's taking out from the Maroon 5. But other than that, it still comes off as more straightforward of an album than Justin Timberlake. So, like I said a couple of minutes ago, the fact that Maroon 5 has been turning out songs back to back, where Justin has been taking long lulls in between albums before putting them out. You have Songs About Jane was in 2002. They took a hiatus for 5 years before they came out with It Won't Be Soon Before Long. And that's what I mentioned when I was talking about the whole Justin Timberlake taking time in between his album, where albums may have a sleeper hit and it might not take off. Even though an album came out 1 year, it may not take off for another year. And that's what Maroon 5 did with Songs About Jane. Songs About Jane came out in 2002, but it didn't start to gain momentum until about 2004. And in 2005, they won Best New Artist for a Grammy. So that's what I've always hated about the Grammys. Like, something like that where somebody's considered a new artist just because they become popular all of a sudden. They should have been nominated before, but of course the album wasn't popular. With that respect, Songs About Jane came out in 2002, but they didn't start getting recognition for it until 2004, 2005. So that makes sense as to why there's that 3-year lull before you have 2007's It Won't Be Soon Before Long. But then 3 years later, they do Hands All Over. 2 years after that, Overexposed. 2 years after that, they do 5. And then 3 years, Red Pill Blues. So he's getting back to back to back to back. And it's not like Adam Levine is just sitting on his butt writing music. Adam Levine is doing the voice. Now, I remember a couple years back when Joanne and I went to go see Kings of Leon one summer. I can't even remember if it was like maybe 2009, 2010. But anyway, we went to go see this concert, and Maroon 5 was performing a couple of days later, and they were trying to give away tickets. They were just like, oh, we have them at discount. Just go up to the front and, we'll give you a discount on them. And at that point, you realize that they weren't that popular. But now, oh my God, I go look for some tickets for Maroon 5. They're upwards of $1,000. $1,000. And just a couple of years ago, they were trying to give tickets away. And that's because, like I said, Adam wasn't sitting on his butt. Adam started doing the voice. And with the voice, it ignited Maroon 5's career again because people saw him for the lyrical genius that he is. He is a great musician. He's a good producer. He knows a lot about how to arrange music. And that speaks volume as to what kind of an artist that you are. I was talking to my husband's friend that lives down in our basement. He had asked me if I heard about SZA, and I'm like, yeah, I like SZA, but I feel like when she's featured on people's albums, when she's featured on people's songs, I feel like I like her a lot better. And this is before the whole Black Panther song. This was just a couple of months after What Lovers Do came out, and I'm like, yeah, she's in Maroon 5's What Lovers Do, and it just sounds so much better. I like her sound so much better. And he's like, well, she's with Adam Levine. Adam Levine is a miracle musical coach. He probably coached her to change up her sound just a little bit to fit in this song, and that's what makes it sound so good. And I'm like, damn it, you're probably right. If you haven't watched The Voice, I haven't watched it in a couple years just because it went from a show that was on 2 nights a week for an hour, maybe 2, if they were right in the beginning or right towards the end, to a show that was on like 4 nights a week, 3 hours, and I just couldn't devote as much time to it. I had a baby. I didn't have that much time on my hands. But if you've never seen Adam Levine coach on The Voice, you need to go on there. He is awesome, and the things that you see him tell these people to do and that little bit of a tweak that they make makes all the difference. So I'm thinking that's the reason why he's able to still write about stuff that he's not experiencing himself. And he's able to do it in their bona fide hits. They don't crash, they don't burn. You can sing them. For the end of time, Adam Levine can write songs about falling in love, about being in love, about whether or not I should trust you with my heart for the next 40 years. And guess what? There's still going to be people falling in love. There's still going to be people questioning whether or not they should love somebody. And it's still going to sound great. At least I hope so. I remember reading an article a couple of years ago, like probably about 10 years ago, where he was saying that he didn't know if he wanted to be doing this in his 40s and 50s. He's about to be 40 and he's still turning out these hits. So hopefully Adam Levine will figure out a way to keep turning out these hits, and maybe he himself won't be singing them. Maybe he'll be writing for other artists and it'll still be great. But yeah, Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods versus Maroon 5's Red Pill Blues. There literally is no competition. Red Pill Blues is a solid winner in my book. I love this album. I'm going to listen to this album, as a matter of fact, when I go to pick up my son. I have been listening to the album nonstop for the last probably month. When I'm in my car and I'm trying to figure out what do I want to listen to? I don't want to listen to the radio. I actually want to listen to something that I can sing songs to. I put on Red Pill Blues because it is great. And most times I'm just listening to Wait over and over again. Oh, wait. Can you turn around? Can you turn around? Just wait. Can you come here, please? Because I want to be with you. And Lips All Over You. I'm listening to Lips All Over You. Because that song is sexy as hell. Adam Levine. Dang it. I can see why Bahati's popping out baby after baby. Jesus Christ. The other baby's not even a year and a half. She's not even a year and a half and you already have your second baby. What the hell? Anyway. And moving on to the last portion of today's show. Have you heard that Prince Harry was throwing shade at Liam Payne? What? Yes, you heard it here first if you haven't heard it. This incident happened during this past Monday's Commonwealth Day service that took place at Westminster Abbey. Prince Harry was caught raising his eyebrows ever so subtly. I watched the video 1,000 times and it's very subtle, but it's dead on. He was caught raising his eyebrows towards Meghan Markle during the performance, and it's you can tell that these two are a couple that really get each other, because as he turned, she turned almost as if she knew that he wasn't feeling it and that she needed to witness whatever he was about to throw at her. And he did a little bit of like, raised eyebrows without making any other facial expression. During the performance, he looked like, oh my God, what is this? He is expressionless, but he turns to her and raises up his eyebrows. And the minute he turns, she turns, he raises his eyebrows, and she starts to giggle and puts her head down because she can't contain it. He contained it. And of course, that's years of British royalty for you, right? He knows when to laugh and when not to laugh, how to hold a laugh back, because you know cameras are always looking at you. So he held it back. She couldn't. She is obviously not as refined as him, and she laughed, but she tried to put her head down so you couldn't see it. But the exchange between the two is so hilarious because it's like I said, this is a couple that you know gets each other by the fact that they were able to time it just right and look at each other and know exactly what the other one was feeling. Now, of course, the media outlets interpreted the gesture and her giggle as him making a diss at Liam. Who knows? It could have been them just laughing at something else. But all signs point to the fact that maybe Liam's performance wasn't up to par, and he felt it and she felt it, and they couldn't hold back from not sharing that moment like all couples do and laugh about it, which is great. If you get a chance, go on, Google it up. It will make your day because it is super sweet. It's super funny because we all know if you've ever gone to church, if you've ever gone to a wedding service, anything where you're supposed to be quiet and still and not make any noise, and something happens and you share a glance with your best friend, your sister, your brother, your family member, and you guys just both get it and you're trying to hold back and you can't. I've been there with my sister once before. We went to church. She had a broken leg. We went because my mother wanted us to go. Her leg dropped and made a big sound, and we both snickered so hard, but we held it in. We both snickered so hard I thought they were going to kick us out. Not only for making the big bam boom, but then for snickering like two children, which I was a child at the time, so she had no excuse. I was only 10. She was 20, so she had an excuse, but I didn't have an excuse. But yeah, I thought they were going to kick us out. So if you have a chance, go online, check it out. It will make your day. And that is it, guys. That is today's show. I am done. I am through. I hope I didn't bust your eardrums with my yelling, but like I said, it's the only way that I can get this done. Without like sounding like a sad sap. I don't want to sound like a sad sap. That's going to make you not want to listen to me. The all of two people who are listening to me. I don't want to turn you off. I want you to come back. I want you to tell your friends that there's a girl who sounds really energetic. Not like, you know, there's an anvil stuck on her leg and she's just trying to get through this. Follow me on social media. I am on Instagram and Facebook as Mommy's Media Medium. I'm on Snapchat as CoolChica311. Catch me next week where I don't have a show planned. I have nothing prepped. I'm probably going to do my henna cure. I said I was going to do that 2 episodes ago. I think I'm going to do it this weekend. I didn't have a chance to do it last weekend, so I think I'll be doing the henna cure all-in-one facial this weekend, and I'll go ahead and give you a review on next episode, episode 20. Woo! I'll be in my 20th episode. Oh my God, I'm giddy just thinking about it. Until then, guys, talk to you later. Bye.
Mama, I'm talking now. Let's talk. Yes, bye.